So welcome. Thank you so much for having me again. I will use those 15 minutes, the next 15 minutes, to guide you through our advanced multi-company solution. And this is a free spin-off of our AMCS module. And first of all, my name is Jannik Schüller, and I'm a pre-sales solution specialist here at Avantico. And as many of you here on the call, Avantico is an exclusive Microsoft partner. And in the recent 5 to 10 years, what we have specialized on is large, complex FNSCM installs. And they had to happen a lot of different legal entities. So we saw a lot of issues and some gaps within the D365 standard. And around all of this, we have created our own IP. And this is our advanced multi-company solution. And the AMCS Lite version is a free part of this. So today, what I'd like to showcase to you is automated import functionalities of journals that we think you as a partner in terms of implementation, and then also for all of your live customers, is going to be greatly beneficial. So we would love to extend our expertise that we have accumulated over the last decade or so to the broader Microsoft community. We really hope that those functionalities will be useful for your clients and for your implementations as well. All right, so this is kind of the core concepts of our solution. Our general goal is to reduce the manual workload for you as an implementer, but also for the accounting team that you are implementing for. And as I said again, we're automating imports of journals into many legal entities. So basically, with one click, you can import, transfer, and validate, and also submit them to your local workflow or global workflow of all your journals. At the core of this solution sits our so-called SuperJournal. This is a global staging table that sits on top of all of your legal entities. So you can access it through all of your legal entities and see a log of all of your imports. And from there, you have a centralized UI where you can access all of the imports. Along those lines, we also introduced some enhanced import validations. So I'm not sure how familiar you are with DMF, but sometimes it's kind of tedious to go through and find a specific error of an import. So if you do have thousands of lines and there is one error in there, the import will actually fail. With our solution, you can basically see where the error is, and you can fix it within the interface, or you can also fix it within the Excel import. We introduced some simplified postings, meaning that you can post journals with basically one click. And I'll go kind of through the actual process of this and the different steps that you can implement. And we also have a global workflow functionality. So you can either use that, or we also respect the local workflow that you have or that you will install, that your customer will install on a legal entity level. The time to value is pretty quick. The 4 to 8 hours that are posted right here is maybe even a little exaggeration. I've set it up before, and it took me about 45 minutes to an hour. And we do have lots of supporting documents that I'll share after this call as well. So you have all the notes and documents that you can get. All right. Before we hop into the demo, I kind of wanted to maybe reiterate why the solution would be beneficial for you. And again, I don't want to sound too salesy, like Lydia said. What we want you to gain out of this is, to make use of our expertise, make use of this standard tool that you can just download instead of maybe configuring something or writing an extension and so on and so forth. So you can make use of a better, faster, and less complicated version than the standard D365 journal import framework. What we think this will actually be useful for you as well is for your data migration as well. So what we see is that, for if it's many legal entities or even a couple of legal entities, you always will have to import some historical data, and this will actually help you quite a lot as well, we think. And then, of course, live customers, if you do have some customers that do have multiple legal entities, this will be quite beneficial for the accounting teams as well. To kind of wrap it up, why should you install it? I think, it's a free version. So this is a big value add for you without any cost. You don't need to customize anything in particular. It's a very easy install, and we will, as I said, give you all the supporting documents that you will need, and it will add value very, very quickly. Okay, with that, let's jump into the demo, into the system. And let me see if you can see all of this. You can see, your normal demo environment. And one key aspect of this solution is that it sits in your user interface as a module. So if you got your attention to the left side, what you can see is the advanced multi-company solution. And if I click on here, I can see different menu items. The menu items that is expanded is for the AMCS Lite version. And if I click on Ledger Journal Imports, it will actually guide me through my global staging table. So what I can see here is all the journals that have been imported across all of my legal entities. And maybe just to guide your attention up here, currently I'm in my USMF legal entity. This might be important for later whenever we can jump in between legal entities fairly quickly. All right, so we do, of course, support batch imports as well, but for manual, for demo purposes, I will go through a manual process right here. So I can come up here and import a GL file. Part of the setup is creating journal names. So I select my journal name, have a description in here, and then it comes to automatic processing. I have some default behavior that I can set up in the back end. But basically, I have 5 different options of posting my journals. The first one is an open stage, where I can basically just import it into my global staging table. Nothing else happens. The data is just in D365, basically. The next step is a check lines step. And this is a first validation where the system goes through checking different things like, are my dimensions correct? Is everything filled out? And it will actually shoot you an error message if something is missing. Now, in this step, no journal has been created yet. Once I click on transfer lines, the journals or the data that has been imported will then be transferred to its respective legal entity. And by then, the journal has been created. We can run through some validation. This is an optional step, or I can directly jump to post journal. So the process, if I click post journal, the process will actually go through all of those steps, still give me an error line and not post, obviously, if there is an error. But let's see, we will go through checklines first. I can come here, select my file, select this one. And again, as I said, we can have a process now functionally. We can also send it to batch. And we usually get a question of, how much lines can you actually import? The biggest line that we have seen was, I think, around 300,000 lines. It took a little bit. It took about 45 minutes to post all of those, but just to give you kind of a reference on volume. I will process it now. You can also see up here is kind of a warning. It tells me, okay, if you've actually imported this before, do you really want to import it? Yes, I do. And once I do this, it will go through and check all the different lines. And I can see right here, the lines are checked. It did not have an error. And I can go into the details right here. in this Excel file, it seems to have different transactions across different legal entities. It seems like I have my German legal entity right here, and then down here there is an intercompany transaction between my US company and the German company as well. If all of this is correct, I see there's no errors. I can also see some details in here. But if this looks right to me, then I can go ahead and transfer it. And what I would like to mention here is I do have super rights and super admin in this environment. So I do have access to all of the legal entities. Now, if so we do respect D365 security roles. So if a user does not have access or rights within a certain company, he or she is not able to transfer those lines. So somebody from that legal entity would need to come into the global staging table and create that journal. So we do respect the standard security here. I can transfer these now, and this means all of the journals are created. I can come in here and see the status has changed to transferred. I can click on here and get some more details. And once I click on here, I can actually come down here on details and see that the journal has been created. Now, if I click on Open Journal right here, what actually happens is that the system will jump to my German environment. So right now I'm in the German company, and again, only if I do have access to it. But I can get the details of this journal line and have my normal drill down functionalities here as well. Okay. Now that they're all transferred, I do have two different steps I can take. I can validate it and I can simulate a posting. This is something we just recently added, or I can just go ahead and post it. And again, only if I do have security access here as well. And one thing that I do want to mention again, we do have the possibility to set up a global workflow that sits on top of all of your legal entities, but we also work with your local workflow that is set up within your local legal entity. So once this is submitted, approved, then you can come here or within your legal entity and post it as well. All right, just for references how a arrow looks, I will come in here and upload something that is faulty. So we can take a glance at the error log. And this, is going to be more beneficial if you do have lots of different lines. But you can see I selected status post, but it all still is open, and you can see why, because it still has errors in those right here. Now, if I click on here and click arrows, it will actually tell me what the error is. And the dimension seems to be not correct. So I have different options. I can come in here and change the dimension directly, or I can change the dimension within my Excel sheet, delete this one and correct it in the Excel sheet and upload it from there and post it. So those are the different options that you have. And yeah, so this is in short the functionalities that we have. I do have a webinar that is a little bit longer, that's on YouTube, and I will link this as well. And of course, feel free to ask any questions. I know there's probably some in the chat, but I will answer them afterwards. And one more thing before we go. I was too quick to end my screen share. What I would like to highlight again is we do have supporting material out there, a video how to set it up. And then also we do host some free office hours for you to attend to kind of extend the setup functionalities and so on and so forth. So yeah, I would love to have your feedback. Are those functionalities that you come up or come across multiple times with new customers? Do you see that? Is this going to be helpful? So yeah, I would appreciate your feedback, and I'll also post a link if you want to download it. Go right ahead. We'll also help you set up.